Hey, it's Emmy, and today I am going to show you how to build an ethical wool farm. This guy is starting to get extremely claustrophobic. I mean, just look at this. This is what almost every single wool farm looks like. The poor little sheep trapped in a one-block cell, and it makes my heart sad. So we are going to give them much more room to freely roam around, and we are going to lose absolutely no efficiency, and in fact, I would say we are going to use even less supplies to build this farm than with your small little cubby holes. So what do you need for this farm? You are going to need one calibrated sculk sensor, one redstone comparator, one lectern, and one book and quill. Then for as big as you want the farm, you're going to need the equal number of dispensers and the equal number of redstone dust, and of course, shears. So for this example, we are going to make our farm in a 5x5 pen. So the first thing you need to do is we are going to put our dispensers in place. So you are going to have a dispenser above every available grass block in your farm that the sheep can possibly roam on. So the sheep occupy 2 blocks, so the dispenser is going to need to go on the 3rd block up from the floor. So make sure your dispensers are obviously facing down, and then go ahead and fill in the ceiling above every available grass block. So that is our sheep pen all finished, and now we can move on to the redstone portion. So we are going to go on top of the pen, and I would highly recommend you go ahead and place the shears in the dispensers now, because this is the easiest time and the easiest way to go ahead and do it. For those in a hurry, I am just going to simply tell you what you need to do so you can get the farm up and running. And for the more sophisticated players, I will explain it in more detail for you when we're done. So for the farm, you need to place down a calibrated sculk sensor, making sure this little veiny line is facing forward, followed by a redstone comparator, followed by a lectern, and then you need to put a book and quill on the lectern and turn it to page 8. It doesn't matter what it says on page 8, it just simply needs to be on page 8. And then you need to put a redstone dust on every single dispenser in your farm. Just like that. Once that is done, aside from getting sheep put in your farm, it is actually completely finished. You have now got an up and running ethical sheep farm. So every time the farm detects a sheep eating a block of grass, it will dispense the shears from all of the dispensers, and if you're worried about, well, Emmy, it's going to run through the shears too fast because they're always dispensing, not to worry. Unless it actually shears the wool from a sheep, it will not reduce the durability. And that's it. Now for those looking for a more comprehensive explanation, I will do the best I can. I tend to dumb things down so that I can understand them better. But basically the way this farm works is the calibrated sculk sensor is constantly listening for a signal. Now if you've got no input, it is just going to go off every time it hears any sound. But if you've got the book on the lectern with the comparator, then you are actually tuning it in to listen for a specific frequency. So let's go through the book real quick. If you are interested in these, you of course can slow down the video or pause it. But basically, these are all of the different levels of input that you can tune the calibrated sculk sensor to receive. Now, if we go back to page 1, it is basically any movement in land, air, or water. So you can see, as I walk around, it is continually triggering the redstone. Now, if we change this to landing on any surface, now if I move around, it's not activating anything, but if I were to jump and land on the surface, there you go. So again, in our case, we are going to turn it to page 8. And obviously in this case, we are wanting it to put out the redstone signal anytime it detects a sheep eating a grass block. So now the only thing left to do is to put it to the test. Let's go ahead and fill this up with some sheep. And there it is. It is actually a really efficient farm. The only thing you would need to do now is you would want to have a minecart with a hopper underneath to collect the wool. But that's it. The sheep get to roam around freely. You've got a much happier little atmosphere in your world, and you do not lose any of the efficiency of your wool farm. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and if you end up using it in your world, let me know. I would love to see it in action. Be free, my friend.